For some and very few of us, life is good. You don't need to make any trades in fantasy. You're in first place. But that's not reality for me. And that's probably not reality for a lot of you either. In this video today, we're going to be talking about players that we should be putting on our trade targets to make our fantasy football teams better. Some of the players that we include are going to be either players we like to acquire, or players we want to buy low on, or even players that we want to sell high on. I just crushed a white monster. I'm locked in. I'm ready to go. I even have my Underdog shirt on. Shouts out to Underdog. No, I'm not sponsored, but they did give me the shirt for free. I guess I'm just that cool. But anyways, roll the intro. Our first trade candidate is none other than DK Metcalf. That guy who wears a pacifier and sprints down the field like a gazelle is in a really high passing offense, which means more targets and means more opportunities for that player. And what I really love about DK Metcalf going forward for us in fantasy this season is the rest of the season schedule he has coming up, with matchups coming up like Atlanta, the Rams, the Packers, Minnesota, and even the Cardinals twice. There's going to be plenty of games where DK Metcalf goes ba-ba-ba-ba-boom. The next player we want to trade for, this is a lower tier player, but it is a running back, and that is Austin Ekeler. So Brian Robinson is still the number one running back here. He is coming back to practice this week, but I do think that it's possible that Austin Ekeler could have just carved himself out a role in this Commanders offense. Obviously, we know, if you've watched these videos on my channel before, I've been pretty high on Brian Robinson Jr. this year. So it doesn't mean I'm ready to just throw away what Brian Robinson has done this season and make him no longer that league winner that I thought he was and is currently right now. I do believe it is very possible that Austin Ekeler has carved himself out a role, at least as a receiver. And if we can see his carries just be, like more than 2, like if we could get him to like 5 to 7 carries, this is a viable fantasy player. A player like him, no matter playing 50% of snaps or even over 80% of snaps, for him to see between 3 to 4 targets, if we could get Austin Ekeler to just a little higher carry range than just a couple or just a handful, we really could have a chance to acquire a really cheap running back and end up with something that's just, playable in case there's like an emergency late in the season. This next trade target is somebody we should be buying low, and that player is 49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk. I know you're thinking like, dude, he's been bad this season. But these low-end wide receiver 2 performances that we keep getting from Brandon Aiyuk have to come to an end at some point, given that he's super talented. But not only that, he's starting to see even more snaps than he was earlier in the season, as the last 2 weeks of the season, he's had at least 92% of snaps played. I think it's fair to say on draft day, we probably overvalued and labeled Brandon Aiyuk as the wide receiver 1 that he was not. But for going forward, which should be a mid to high end wide receiver 2, to be able to offer something to maybe a frustrated owner of Brandon Aiyuk, you may be able to get possibly something really good in return for Brandon Aiyuk. Now, unlike the Seattle Seahawks and their easy matchups the rest of the way, it is a little bit more difficult for Brandon Aiyuk, but he does have some really good matchups. Next week in Week 8, he will be in Dallas. And he also has another really 2 good matchups with Tampa Bay and in Week 17 championship round against the Detroit Lions. I really could already see it now. You trade for somebody like Brandon Aiyuk as you're rolling, you're having a good season. Week 17 rolls around. It's a shootout, Lions versus 49ers. Maybe NFC championship matchup there. Little NFC championship rematch. And that thriller of a game could potentially win you your fantasy championships this year. The next player we should be buying low on, maybe even buying lower on, if you're looking for something to shop at and you want to go to the discount section, look no further than DeMario Douglas of the Patriots. The best time to buy a Patriots wide receiver is right now. Let's remember that Drake May is now the starting quarterback of the Patriots, and this was a highly sought after rookie that was seemingly going to change an NFL team's franchise outlook going forward. There were even teams that wanted to trade up to acquire this player because they thought he could change their franchise. Sure, Drake May will have bad games and the Patriots offense won't look good on some days, but with a real quarterback now under center in New England, DeMario Douglas, being that he's the best and most comfortable in the Patriots offense, he will definitely get a nice target share and be a viable fantasy player. And finally, the player we are going to sell now, sell today, should have sold yesterday, sell today for the high. That's Kareem Hunt. I know Kareem Hunt in his last game just had an amazing game and looks like the starting running back again for the Chiefs, but you have to hear me out on this one. While it doesn't sound all that relevant right now, the Kansas City Chiefs did activate Clyde Edwards-Helaire to their active roster, which means there's another running back now in this carousel. Normally when a player is activated to the 53 or 52 man roster, usually it will take them some time to come back into the offense. But with Clyde Edwards-Helaire stepping away from the team because of PTSD and mental health, I believe that he'll probably get back on the field sooner than we expect. And I know with that information, it's like, okay, well, big deal. He'll get like 2-3 carries like he usually does. And that's that. But Andy Reid reportedly has a lot of trust in him and in practice is using him, so that is a concern if I was a Kareem Hunt owner. Add the fact that they have Carson Steele when they need to get close to the goal to go, and they have Samaje Perine when they're needing a third down back to catch a pass or the 2-minute drill. It is important to keep in mind that last week was the only week that a Chiefs running back has gotten even close to what Isaiah Pacheco is doing snap count wise, but adding another running back that has its own unique trait to this offense could affect how much we see Kareem Hunt being used. It's not like the last time we've seen Kareem Hunt, it was like, this guy is a must start. Like, it's possible that this was just one anomaly game. So those are the 5 trade targets. We're in the middle of our fantasy football seasons, and some of us might need a little pick-me-up. I know I need a little pick-me-up, that's for sure. I figured this would be a better style kind of video to put out this week. I usually do put out the weekly recaps and predictions of players I think we should start and sit, but usually those videos don't do too well. Y'all be slacking on those, and I'm noticing. If you think it's trash, you think it's mid, you gotta tell me. And if you like it, you gotta comment that you like the video so I know to make more videos like this one. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, even just a little bit, you didn't even have to think it was that good, but if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below. I would really appreciate that. It helps out my videos get out to more and more fantasy football enthusiasts like yourself. And if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've stumbled across my videos before and didn't feel like subscribing, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. It's free, costs you nothing, and I would honestly consider it as your one good deed of the day. And you don't have to do another good deed for the rest of your day. But anyways, that's enough of me yapping. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.